when you read that kind of stuff, when you read stuff that's really good like that, you're like, man, I have so much work to do in my business. Like I could be doing a million times better than I am right now.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Realty Room podcast. I'm your host, Miles Pointer, joined as always by Marcus Butler.
What's going on?
Today, we're really going to get into our 2025 prospecting goals and kind of where we're taking our lead generation into the next year.
Yep. Today, our rates for 30-year conventional, we're sitting at about 6.5. FHA and VA about 6.25. So they're bouncing around a little bit. Hopefully, they'll be down where we all want them very soon. But we all know and have probably realized it takes time, unfortunately. Miles, how was your week, man?
It was good. Yeah, kind of first week back into the U.S. from trip to Greece, which was great. It was good to take some time off, but definitely was anxious to get back into the office and working on things. It's kind of funny. That was the thing I was most looking forward to, was getting back to work.
Yep.
So
work is just fun. We're in a great industry. I love
what I do. So
yep.
What about you? How was your week?
Week was good. I don't know what's happening, but it seems like buyers are going crazy right now in our area. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people are raising their hands saying they want to buy a house. So got a couple things under contract this week, feeling pretty good about it. Just got back from Florida, just like you. I was pretty excited to come back to work and kind of get back to the grind. So things are going good. But what are your prospecting goals, Miles?
Yeah, okay.
What you got coming up?
2025 prospecting goals, and
these are our personal goals, by the way.
Yep.
And maybe some ideas for some people out there.
And let me just preface this by saying that I feel like it's really important, for me at least, and I think for others too, to write things down beforehand. Like for me, it's been really good to I did this in Greece. I always have to have some work, something I'm working on while I'm on vacation. So in Greece, I spent some time trying to figure out some of my 2025 prospecting or just general goals for the future, and really writing things down on paper and then diving into each of those things and figuring out how you're going to make each thing work better was super helpful. So for me, I have 5 main things that I'm going to be focusing on in 2025 for lead gen. The first one is I'm going to dive deeper than I ever have into social media. So that includes mainly Instagram and Facebook for me, but I'm going to try to dabble a little bit more into YouTube, starting off with YouTube Shorts, because that's so easy. You just turn your reels into shorts. And I'm going to try to dabble into some long form videos, but that'll come. So first of all, I just want to be consistent with it.
It's a good goal.
The second and third things, I'm going to work on online leads a little bit more. I know that it's like 60 to 80%, if you know the number, but it's a high amount of people that start their search online for homes. And so for me, I think it's a good idea to pay. I know you have to pay money, but for online leads.
Help you build your business a little bit quicker.
Yep. The fourth one that I'm going to focus on is expires. I did that a lot this year, but I feel like the last couple of months I've kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit, and so I'm just going to keep on doing about the same amount that I was earlier in the year and just see where it takes me. I know you've had good success with expireds. So the fifth one is Google local service ads. So making my Google profile better and hitting that hard. So those are kind of the 5 ways, and then each of those things I have kind of identified ways that I can make that process more efficient and easier for me to complete, so it takes less time. I have to focus on each thing less, but have it work better.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Improve systems and automation and some of that good stuff. There's a really great book that Miles and I were chatting about, and it's called The E-Myth, and it's all about refining your processes in your business to become more efficient and automation and all that good stuff. It's a really great book. So just throwing that out there. It definitely gives you ideas on how to make, when you read that kind of stuff, when you read stuff that's really good like that, you're like, man, I have so much work to do in my business. Like I could be doing a million times better than I am right now.
Yeah.
And things could be a million times easier if I just spend time setting it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Reading books like that, though, I mean, first of all, The E-Myth is probably one of the best business books I've read. And when you read it, it really sparks kind of an entrepreneurial spirit inside of you. And it sparks all these ideas of how you can improve your own business, which I think is, for me, it's really fun reading through books like that.
Yeah. It's a great book. And it's funny because you said when you're out on vacation, you always have to be working on something. I'm like the polar opposite. Of course, like I'm dealing with my client stuff that I have to while I'm out. But man, if I could just hang out in the pool and do nothing, you know, I'm going to do it.
See, that's funny because like whenever I'm in that mode, like if I'm just hanging out on the beach.
You feel too lazy?
I feel like I have to. No, it's not that. It's just like I will be reading a business book, or I'll be taking notes on my phone, or I'll be thinking about business improvement. Like it's kind of my time to think about like the big ideas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe you're just like in an inspiring atmosphere or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Out on vacation. For those of you that don't know what local service ads are, if you Google like real estate agent in, you know, Dallas, Texas or whatever.
Or even like find a realtor near me kind of thing.
Yeah. You can type in a broad number of things and they'll show up, but you'll notice there will be real estate agents at the very top of the Google search. And they rotate based on who's bidding for these leads. But the really cool thing about it is you only get charged if you actually get a phone call from them or if you actually get a message. So you're not just paying for all these, you know, terrible leads. This is, you know, hypothetically somebody who's kind of motivated. There's intent behind them searching on Google for somebody like you. So, and there's in our area, there's some really successful real estate agents that we see on that list. So we kind of know that they're doing it. So kind of, I don't know. I guess maybe we'll give you an update later and let you know how it goes. But yeah, those are some good ones you got there. The social media, man, takes a lot of effort to be consistent, but I know you could do it. You're a pretty persistent person.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll tell you kind of one of the ways that I'm doing it is there's a lot of really successful agents that do well on social media and get clients off of social media. And so I'm just looking at them and seeing what they're doing. And the cool thing about Instagram, that's kind of the platform I'm basing everything off of for now, is if you can go to someone's profile, go to their reels, and you can see how much every single reel has, how many views every single reel has. And so you can see the ones on their page. Like if someone has 15,000 followers, they'll have reels that have 5,000 views or something. But then they'll have reels that have, 100,000 views. So it's like, well, let me see what they did there, and then I can just copy that.
Yep.
And that's the cool thing about social media is it's kind of just a world of copying others.
Especially Instagram. And TikTok, I think, which I don't really use TikTok, but it's about what's trending, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel bad copying someone. I mean, that's kind of what everybody
does.
does.
And then it takes I have to do the work in creating the content, but at least it takes out the whole creative side for me of wondering what content to do. And the cool, to put this into perspective, I put a reel out the other day. I put a reel out last week, and it got 6,000 views, which was really good for me personally. Because the most I've ever gotten besides that is 1,500. I have, just over 600 followers right now.
Did you get a bunch of followers from it? Just out of curiosity?
No, I didn't get any followers from it, which isn't that surprising. I think you have to be consistent for a while, and people have to look at your page and the content that you're putting out. They to drive them to actually hit the right
follow button.
So, which is okay. But then I posted one 2 days later, this last weekend, and it got 400 views, and it's something that I came up with myself. and it just got hardly
We're
any
just
views.
not
And it's like,
smart
okay,
enough.
like this is why I copy what I know to be successful, because it works.
Don't reinvent the wheel,
Exactly.
especially on social media.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's cool, man. That's interesting. It'll be really cool for us to catch up several months from now and see how these things like rolled out, and share that with, whoever might be listening.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of what our episode about today, because we're kind of winging it right now. We're like, let's just talk about what we want to do in our own businesses. And it's kind of about a little bit of business planning now that I think about it, not just prospecting. So, and it is pretty important to just, you get so busy in the day to day to just sit down and just think like, where do I want to devote my time? Because in real estate, you just get pulled around left, right, up, down, and it's easy to lose what your actual goals are. So I guess I'll just state that because I think it's important. On me, I have seen a lot of success through direct mail. So I think I want to continue exploring that. I've called expireds, and I have also sent letters to a lot of expireds. And I've gotten business from both, but what I think works best for my personality, I think that I got pretty good at talking to people on the phone, but I really don't love it. I'll be honest. It's like a chess match when you get on the phone. A lot of people don't want to talk to you, and it's about how you can develop rapport with these individuals to get them to open up to you. And it's definitely possible. Like I said, I've seen success, but do I love it? No. Have I seen success from direct mail? 100%, probably more than calling, and it's less dreadful. So what I do now, I'll just say it, when a property expires, I try to send them a letter as soon as possible in an area that I want to work, because I don't want to drive an hour and a half to somebody's house, in an area I want to work, in a price range I want to work. So I just send it to anything between 300 grand and 5 million or 10 million. Who cares how expensive you go? And it's just saying, hey, look, your house expired. I know that can be frustrating. I choose to specialize in situations like yours, working with sellers in situations like yours, because I know how frustrating it could be. So it's very, very targeted to that individual, and I think that's why I've seen success. But I'm only sending one letter. So what I think I'm going to do, just like a email drip campaign where they get a series of a few emails, I'm going to do that, but with actual mail. And I'm not done, developing it, if you will. But what I want to do is send them the letter I'm already sending, and then 3 or 4 days later follow up with another letter that says, hey, here's the reasons why homes don't sell. List those reasons out. Get them thinking a little bit better. And then on the last letter, do like a final call to action. Hey, if you really want to get your plans back on track, and this really is still a goal of yours, I know I can help you. Let's share a conversation, right? And I think right now I'm converting about 1 in 100 with my letters.
Okay.
Which I don't think is too bad, honestly. It does not. I could send out 100 letters and I do this all by myself in I'm going to say 10 hours of actually working. And
how long, like how many weeks is that over, you think?
Sure. Good point. I'm going to say 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it all depends on how you look at it, but it doesn't take that long.
But even if you say that you're spending, on average half an hour a day, if you broke it down, or if you're doing it weekly, you're spending
3 hours,
4 hours a week.
Let's say 4 hours a week
to
be safe.
One listing a month.
Yeah.
I mean, more than one listing a month. That's pretty good. Yep.
I would say in 4 hours you can send out 100. No, yeah. 4 hours you can probably send out 100 letters. You might even be able to get, a potential listing a week from it. But anyways, my idea was that if you send a sequence of letters instead of just one, you can probably convert it more to 3 out. My guess is maybe 2 or 3 out of 100 instead of 1 out of 100 letters. So anyways, that's where I'm going to start putting forth more of my time moving forward. And I've already calculated it out. Even if you're paying an assistant to do it, the return can be ridiculous. Like really great return on your investment. Even if you're paying somebody to do the mailers for you. Mm-hmm. And then you could create that same process for sale by owners. Just write a new letter, and divorcees or whatever. There's probably 10 different types of listings you could go after, would be my guess. So, and also just to clarify, that is a printed out letter in color on a envelope with a handwritten address and a physical stamp. I think that's kind of the key to success in direct mail. Mm-hmm. I think people throw postcards away, because I do too.
Yeah, I think postcards can be good, but you have to have a really good attention grabbing something on there. It's good to note too that if you are doing postcards, that next time you pick up your mail, notice which side you're looking at, and it's always the postage and the address side, right?
Because that's the side
they
put it in the
mailbox. Yeah. So that's the side you'll grab it from. And
that's a really good point.
And so if you're going to have an attention grabbing thing on your postcard, you got to have it on the side that has the postage and the address, which a lot of people forget.
I know. But I was just having a conversation with another agent in our office about this the other day. When I go to my mailbox and I grab my mail, I grab it out all in one hand, and as I'm walking into my garage, I have my garbage can in my garage, right? Mm-hmm. And as I'm walking towards my garage door, I'm separating postcards and magazines between my fingers and putting the actual bills or important stuff between different fingers. Yeah, the envelopes. Mm-hmm. And if I see it says auto, how they in the address, right above the address, there's like a code and it says auto. I know that's something trying to get me on auto insurance. So I just nope, put it in with the junk mail. I literally throw that away. Me personally, I don't look at any postcard. But I'm not everybody. I know that not everybody's like that, and it goes in the garbage so it never even makes it into my house. I think the beautiful thing about a letter is it drives curiosity. Mm-hmm. It has a physical stamp on it. I took the time to write out their address. Even though they might feel like it might still be junk mail, they're curious enough to bring it into the house, not throw it in the garbage can on the way in. And at a minimum, now I'm on their kitchen counter. Mm-hmm. I truly believe it. But
at the minimum, they at least saw it.
Yeah.
And noticed.
I bet you the open rate on these is pretty darn great. I'm not going to say 100%, Miles.
Yeah.
I feel like 80, though.
No, it's true. Like, if I ever get hand-addressed letters to me, of course I open them. And the only letters, I tend to look more at envelopes in general. The only ones that I immediately throw away are any credit card ones,
offers,
or any letters that say current resident on it. I immediately throw those away.
Yep.
But other than that, I do look at letters. I also tend to look at least skim really briefly through everything, postcards included.
Yeah.
But
see,
that's just me.
I don't. But then again, I don't know. I'm probably tripping over my kids' bikes and stuff and dealing with other stuff. Yeah. And I just don't want to deal with something that I don't need to deal with right then. Who knows? Maybe it's a personality thing.
Yeah.
I would say on top of that, I really want to focus on getting a new website. Our brokerage uses Moxie, and I'm not a huge fan of Moxie. I don't think it has a lot of tools that are going to help. So I think maybe finding a trendier website that's better at capturing leads. That way you can point people to your website and it can actually be a lead funnel for you.
Yeah.
I really want to focus on that. And then, like you said, automating, emails. I use Follow Up Boss. Miles now uses Follow Up Boss, and it has a lot of cool automation features in there. When you get a new contract, when it's your client's birthday, you can trigger these, sequences, which is really neat. And then, like you said, Google service ads. I'm also doing that. So yeah, we'll see how things go. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I going back to website just for a moment, I actually have like underneath some of my 5 main things, I have website on like 2 or 3 of them. Because even though like it's not a direct like I'm not using it directly to market to someone, it's a really easy way for people to look up who you are. Like, who's this guy sending me a letter, or who's this guy that just called me over the phone, or who I just connected with over realtor.com or something.
Absolutely.
Who is this guy? And a website is a really fast way for them to look you up. So
a little bit of a first impression if they do decide to look you up. You know, obviously you have that initial impression through your letter, how professional was it, or your phone call, you know, how professional were they on the phone. But you're right, a lot of people go to look them up, so that's a great point. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all this rolls out in the coming months.
Yeah, let's connect back in the spring and see. The cool thing is like we live in an area where winter tends to slow down things a little bit, and it's a really good opportunity to take time to focus on your business instead of in your business.
100%. And we did a little bit of a business roadmap segment on a previous episode, and I'll just say that again. I really, as a newer agent, I really struggled until I took the time to sit down and gain clarity. You know, if you don't do business roadmap, you know, or business planning annually, it's really easy to lose track of where you're spending your time and just get a little sloppy. And I really think just devoting, even if it's just 3 hours, like it doesn't even take that long, you know. Probably the more time you can invest, the better. You know, if you could do a couple days of business planning, even better. But if you don't take the time, I think there's going to be a lack of clarity. And I know that was true for me. So I guess final words from me is, if you haven't already, consider just taking time, figure out what avenues you want to take to get business and how you want your business to be perceived by others, and put in a game plan to get it done.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's great. I'll just to follow up on that. Really, in order to do business, you need to gain the business. But then in order to keep doing business, you have to do the business you have well. If that made any sense at all.
100%.
Okay.
No, and I think it's
and
really
so like
true.
when you're just starting out, like you just said, focusing on where you're going to get the business from, and then just stay consistent with that. And then you can spend time to focus on how you can improve that business.
Yep.
So
little business planning 101.
Yep.
Cool.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Thanks for catching up with us here at the Realty Room. We come out with new episodes every Tuesday, so stay tuned for our next episode. You could follow me at The Real.
You do this every time.
Every time.
Marcus.
At Real Mark Butler. That's Mark with a C.
And you can follow me at Miles Pointer.
Catch you guys next time.